Good evening, champions of the realm. Eristarisis here, and based on some feedback and suggestions from friends and family and various other champions I play with, they suggested that instead of just doing gameplay videos, I talk a little bit about the builds that I actually use for my champions. So I'm going to start out with one of the champions I mainline quite heavily, which would of course be Tyra. As you can see, she's one of what they call the damage class, who's basically can really fill, in my opinion, three major roles in a fight. She can literally be up front, you know, right in the thick of things at the front line with the likes of the shield carriers like Barrick and Fernando. In a pinch, she can even substitute in for a flanker, not a very good one because she doesn't have the maneuverability of the likes of Eevee or Meave. But she can still flank quite effectively, and of course lastly she can play a more supportive role from the back line, not as far back as Kanessa or maybe Shaolin, but hanging back far enough to support the healers and keep them safe in a situation where you face an opposing team that tends to be quite flank heavy. So we'll jump straight to a quick look at her skills. Her main attack is of course the auto rifle, direct damage out to about medium range. Deals 120, and of course the closer in you get to the target, the more damage you deal. Her right click skill, the grenade launcher, is an AoE attack that does 700 damage. Hunter's Mark is actually quite a powerful skill because it tags an enemy for 6 seconds. They're revealed, they can't stealth, perfect for taking out the likes of Sky. And they take an additional 15% damage from the basic attack, so that ups that 120 from auto rifle up to about 130, 140 area, which is really quite a significant boost to your damage. Of course, her last skill here, her Q skill, that would be Firebomb. Area of effect incendiary, damage over time, 9% of your maximum health, and that is also with a healing reduction of 50%. Continuous contact refreshes the effect, so this can really burn off health very quickly since it covers a large area. In point of fact, a properly placed firebomb will literally cover the entire point in either siege or payload. Lastly is her overdrive or her ultimate, which is called Crossfire. 40% attack speed and movement speed boosts for 4.5 seconds. Auto rifle firing does not consume ammo. Combine that with Hunter's Mark and you can slaughter even Fernando or Barrick with the right in-game shop cards. Just so you know what to watch out for on the battlefield.
Give them hell!
That, when you hear that, find cover, especially if Tyra suddenly starts running right at you. Now in terms of cards and loadouts, I'm only going to talk about my build, the build I created that allows me to play, in a sense, all three of these roles, as in up front, on the flank, or even in support. My build is based around using the Mercy Kill Legendary, which is for the grenade launcher, allowing it to do up to 100% additional damage based on the target's missing health. This basically can rack up to over 1,000 plus damage in a single shot, allowing you to kill off weaker heroes, well, not so much weaker heroes, but heroes with lower health in a single grenade shot, if you time it right and can hit the target, of course. For the record, my accuracy with the grenade launcher needs a fair bit of work, but it's pretty sweet when I can hit the target. This is my custom build to exploit the grenade launcher as much as I can. So built around exploiting the grenade launcher would be these main two cards here. That would be Turn the Tables and Primal Might. The idea being that I can heal after I nail an enemy with a grenade launcher. So that basically gives me a little more survivability, especially since this build, especially when you're up front as a damage dealer, you become a target, especially if you don't have a shield to hide behind. Primal Might reduces cooldowns by 30%, which is a heck of a lot when you consider the cooldown on the flame grenade and the grenade launcher. I think it's like 9 seconds for the grenade launcher and 18 seconds for firebomb. So knocking off a lot of
Tyra.
that cooldown with a single card here, 30% of that. So on an 18-second cooldown, I've basically knocked off what? About 6 seconds, give or take, which is literally 1/3. Of course, the other cards in the build, and since Tyra's dependent on the auto rifle, increasing the ammo count is crucial, so you don't have to reload as much, because her mag doesn't exactly give her the damage boost that Victor's assault rifle gets. The last two cards, of course, Survivalist 2, just to buff my health a little bit, so I've got a better chance of surviving on the front lines or when I go up against flankers especially. And Hunting Season 2 for the Hunter's Mark, that gives me an additional 400 health when I kill the target, which is of course pinged by Hunter's Mark. So playing Tyra is actually a bit of a micromanagement game in a sense, because you need to know which target to mark, so that you can get the kill, get the health, get the cooldown, and then do it again. So it takes practice to get to use this hero effectively. Like many of the champions in this game, they're not easy to master. A lot of them follow the build concept of easy to learn, easy to use, but hard to master. For point of comparison, my next video will probably be on Victor, who's a straight damage dealer. So hopefully you'll be able to compare and contrast those two shortly. Now right now I'm gonna jump right into a couple of matches on casual here just to showcase this build in action.
Choose your champion.
Tyra. I defeated a Gorlock with my bare hands. These foes will be of little trouble.
Okay, so here we'll be picking the appropriate legendary Mercy Kill, and of course the build AK-47 UGL as I call it, which is my personal build, as you guys know. Now, when it comes to item shop choices, I always check what the enemies have, you know, what their team is composed of. That always determines my opening choice. Normally, if they have 2 or more healers, I will take Cauterizer first to disrupt their healing. If they've got 2 or more frontline or tankers, like Fernando or Barrack, then I take Wrecker to break those shields first. Otherwise, I generally take Chronos first so that I can drop the cooldowns on everything, increasing my battlefield efficiency quite a bit. Now remember, I said that Tyra can play 3 roles as a damage: frontline, flanker, and supporting, so you'll get to see all 3 in the next couple of minutes, I hope. So right now you can see already cutting round, and coming in on the flank on Evie here. She goes into her stasis. The flame grenade denies her much of her healing. She lost half her health there and she ran off. So flank wise failed attack, but I drove her off, which was worth it. Victor goes down, and what's his name, Lex also went down. As you can see, again flanked them both. They weren't expecting me to be there. Moving in immediately to support on the point here, pushing up just to drive Willow off. The point of this game, remember, is to cap the point, not score as many kills as you can. So here you're seeing more of a supportive role as I help my teammates cap the point. I'm just keeping them occupied, keeping the enemy off balance, you know, by denying them avenues of attack. Again, the support role continues here. As you'll see, I literally just stick with the payload and push it. I say this is supportive, you know, more than offensive or anything else, because I'm not the one that's really pushing the payload. Here you see an attempt to flank Sky that fails. Now that failed because the objective is to get the payload home, not score as many kills as you can. Keep your eye on the final objective, push the payload for the win. So I stick with the payload as opposed to wandering off to score a kill. This is one of the reasons why a lot of Paladin matches actually end in losses, despite having really high kill scores. Nobody was pushing the payload, everybody was just focused on killing their opposing team member. And there you saw Evie take a grenade to the face, courtesy of Mercy Kill, half her health in 1 grenade shot. Drogos has gone up. This is the final push now for this round. So going right up the middle there, alongside supporting again on the front line and supporting the push for the win in this first round. So, Willow escaped me there. But as you can see, in that first round, literally, you know, I mean, on the front line on 3 separate occasions, flanked 3 occasions, support kills in a sense 2. So I picked up literally about 8 kills, I think, in that first round. I'll point out that this is a live match, and yes, I'm playing with a friend of mine. Shoutouts to Starfire for letting me into her party,
Point spawning in 15 seconds.
so I can get that 10% boost, which is quite handy. Somebody would probably be wondering about my shop choices there. Normally, my second and third purchases are Haven level 1 and Life Rip level 1. Just again to get some healing and get some damage resistance here. It always is a toss-up between Haven and Blast Shield. It always depends what the enemy team is composed of. Whoa, Eevee! Take a grenade. Come here. Come back here. Okay. Here you see from being on a flank job, I've now moved into support, you know. And Eevee there gets away basically because I can't evade. Ooh, whoa. So you see, when your team works together, it's seriously possible. Getting the flank there on the enemy, I think that's an enemy Victor. Missed with the grenade shot. Yep, that was an enemy Victor.
Cards are ready.
Here again, you see now pushing on the front line because I'm not providing support. I'm the one capping the point this time. Whoa, who's that? That's enemy Lex. Okay. So with my teammates on the point, I don't really need to be here. So I pull off a bit to get the support and get the kill as well on Eevee and follow it up by dropping Sky. Victor's there, so fire the firebomb, ground control and denial strategy because it pushes him away. He can't get in close to disrupt, he can't get into attack without taking some serious damage. Now a lot of builds emphasize the flame grenade over the grenade launcher. It's just a difference in playstyle. Here, alright, most people would have chased for the kill. I deliberately did not do that to support the push on the payload here. And also because I figured Sky was wandering around. I missed with the flame grenade there, but it set her up. The flame grenade pushed her back, the grenade launcher polished her off.
That's 7 in a row.
Building a sense of awareness is crucial for any champion in Paladins because you need to know when to use what skill here. If there is some interest, I will demonstrate in another video how to use each, like for example her flame grenade effectively, her firebomb skill. Sorry, I keep calling it flame grenade. Chasing him down, that kill goes to my allied Victor. But this is it, ladies and gents, the win is secured as I push up on the front line now. And there you have it, ladies and gents. In that one, on the front line, on the flank, on the support, I could not keep score unfortunately, but I think it worked out to be roughly the same. I think 8 or 9 eliminations.
Well played.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really keep score of my kills here in the sense of that, yay, I got the most kills. My focus is on winning it, which is why you saw I don't chase kills. I chase the objective, I chase the payload. That's the easiest way to win this game. Keep your eye on the objective. No surprise, since he got player of the game, he also takes the award, the accolade for highest damage. How much XP? 68,000. Not bad, but not great either. I've scored over 100,000 sometimes. Final scores 18-0-2, 18-2. So I picked up 2 solo kills along the way, so not too bad. Anyway, good night, champions of the realm. And remember, push the payload.